Don't lock me out.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Committee Board 8, State Liquor Authority and Sidewalk Cafe Review Committee. We are just holding for a couple minutes while our members join the WebEx, and we can confirm that we've hit quorum to conduct business. So bear with us, and we'll begin shortly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we confirm the phone number 917 ending in 40? Who that person is in attendance?
I'm the general manager for Sweet Chick on 341 Flatbush Avenue, Carlton Avenue.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, James.
Mr. Thurton. Is the person logged on as Brian? Is that Brian Saunders? Good evening, Mr. Saunders. I believe, Mr. Witherwax, that means we have 8 committee members, which equals quorum for us. So we can go ahead and begin. I will ask respectfully that all people mute until they're speaking or have a question and called upon, just so we can eliminate the background noise and any interference as we move through a very robust agenda that we have tonight. I will also apologize in advance. It seems like a neighbor's pet puppy or dog is not happy and keeps barking, so please forgive me in advance for any extra noise. All right, to get started, let's just confirm who's in attendance as for our applicants. Our agenda was circulated today. First of all, let me please acknowledge Mr. Robert Witherwax, who's our vice chair, as well as our recording secretary for this event. We are also joined by the Community Board 8 office, as well as one of our vice chairs of the Community Board, Ms. Irsa Weatherspoon. So thank you all for being here and helping us facilitate this meeting. Checking to confirm who's all in attendance now. 786 Franklin Avenue.
That's me, Norman Escoffrey, and it's at 768.
768. Sorry, it was written transposed in our agenda. Apologies. Thank you, Mr. Escoffrey. Escoffrey. Thank you.
Norm, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Norm. 409 Lincoln Place. 268 Kingston.
Present.
Who was that again? Sorry, was that Mr. Glenn?
Yes, Alan Glenn.
Great, thank you. 271 Kingston. 724 Franklin. 434 Park Place.
Yes, present.
Who was that again? Sorry.
Washington Commons. My name is Corey.
Mr. Noble. Great, thank you. 287 Flatbush. 636 Carlton, I believe. I saw the manager here.
Yes, Alex here for 636 Carlton Avenue, Sweet Chick. Thank you.
Right, thank you. And we're looking at new license applications for 724 Sterling. What's that? Is that 724 Sterling? Uh, 1524 Bergen. Melissa. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
728 Franklin.
Hey, that's me. I'm Jillian Sciabi for Little Zelda.
Great. Hi, Jillian.
Hi.
And finally, 591 Vanderbilt. I see Catherine. Hi, Catherine. I saw a note in the chat. Let me just pull that up. Oh, is that Cal from Centani? You're not able to speak? Is that what's... Is that Cal? Hi.
He said he can't hear, so
Uh,
maybe we need to type for him.
Can you? All right, I'm putting a note in the chat. Also, we did not receive any application. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our renewals, and then we'll jump in on the new applications. Let me find link. All right, so please bear with me. All right, so sorry, drink 7 is 768, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, let me pull up your application. And for a matter of the record, I will read this out loud. Mr. Scoffrey is representing Drink at 768 Franklin Avenue. That's been in business for 5 years and 10 months as a restaurant bar. Mr. Norman, can you just confirm the cross streets of your establishment?
We're on Franklin between St. John's and Lincoln.
St. John's and Lincoln, okay. And you are renewing for a full license. It's not indicated on your application, or is it a beer and wine?
It's a full license.
All right, so a full license for liquor, wine, beer, and cider. Service area includes 3 tables with 12 seats, 1 bar with 9 seats, but a maximum capacity of 74. Hours of operations under normal operating times is noon to 1 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday, and noon to 3 a.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Noise attenuation measures include soundproofing and plant decor. Outdoor service area is a patio or a deck with 20 feet by 13 feet with 3 tables and 8 seats. For a total seating with benches, including benches, equals 12 seats. The outdoor hours of operations are noon to 10 p.m. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and noon to 11 p.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Outside noise attenuation includes high walls, a patio cover, and plantings. Speaker system includes 4 indoor speakers, no live entertainment, and 6 service employees with 2 security personnel, inclusive of cameras for additional security operations. There's 2 residences in the building, 4 residences left, right, and rear, and no operation changes implemented since this last application. Are there any community members in attendance today that have any questions or comments on this application? Not seeing any. Are there any questions or comments from any of our community board members or committee members? I also want to acknowledge the 77th Precinct is with us in attendance tonight. Hello there. I see you're logged under Mr. Cavoli, but just for the sake, can you remind us who you are and your position and if there are any issues with any applications tonight?
Hey, good evening, everyone. How you doing? My name is Officer Vidal from the 7th Precinct. I'm the crime prevention officer here at the precinct. I also help out the SLA with looking up any type of 311 complaints or 911 complaints that was had at your locations. I also do conduct security surveys of businesses free of charge. That's through the department. So reach out to me if you actually want a security survey of your location. We've had some burglaries in the 7th Precinct. The locks have been broken and gates risen. They're targeting locations that have ATMs in them. So that seems to be the target of these burglars. So if you do have a ATM in your business, make sure that it's not an open view to everyone that's passing by, that it's for your customers. And keep that in mind. And also, if you, like I said, if you're interested in having a free security survey, we'll go out to your location and see if you have any security deficiencies in at your business.
Thank you, officer. Would you be able to drop the point of contact in their chat?
I will.
And then we will record that at the community board office, and any applicant can also contact the board office to make connections.
Thank you.
Thank you. Was there any issues with any of our applications tonight that you'd like to flag with us that are on our agenda?
Nothing major. I see here Lincoln Station 49 Lincoln Place had a dispute on May 10th of last year in front of the location, not inside of. On September the 27th, there was a dispute inside the location. There was 2 911 calls for that year. Basil 268 Kingston, I had none. Bufin Bun 271 Kingston had 1 311 noise complaint on February of this year, and 911 call for an assault on 7/22 of last year. Also for 724 Franklin Avenue. Not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, Centani. We have 1, 2, 3, just 4 noise complaints. They were all from last year on November and October. 434 Park Place, Washington Tavern had no complaints. Sum Sushi on 287 Flatbush Avenue had no complaints. 636 Carlton Avenue, Sweet Chick had, see here, 1, 2, 3 noise complaints. 2 of March of this year and 1 in October of last year.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So I guess with that being said, any other questions or comments around 768 Franklin for drink from any committee members? If not, I'm prepared for a motion to accept a motion from any of our members.
I have a
What are
question.
the hours of operation at this present moment?
Could you say that again, please?
Hey, Norm, he's the committee member Brian Saunders is asking your current hours of operation.
Current hours of operation are 5 to 11 p.m. every day, except for Sunday. We're closed on Sunday now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I wanted to know, I heard something about speakers outside or inside?
Yes, ma'am. The speakers, it says on their application, were 4 speakers on the interior.
The interior. And didn't I hear something about 3 a.m.? Hours? I kind of walked away from the computer, but I thought I heard that.
Yeah, they've been in existence for 5 years and 10 months, and it looks like they've been approved for 3 a.m. service previously on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But with the COVID restrictions, they're only operating till 11.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Ms. Collins. Anyone else? All right. I will ask for a motion from a committee member, please.
A motion to to support the drink establishment for renewal of the SLA license.
Okay, I'll second.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Saunders, a second by I believe it was Ms. Young.
Yes, it was.
Thank you. Any questions to the motion? If not, Mr. Witherwax, would you please begin our vote roll?
Certainly. I will call your name, and if I hear you, I will say thank you. Kearney Allison.
Yay.
Thank you. Wayne Bailey is excused. Gail Branch Mohammed.
She's also excused.
Oh, thank you. Janet Collins.
Abstain?
Thank you. James Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Tamika Gibbs. Oliver Hart. Robert Puka. Brian Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton.
Yes.
Thank you. Ethel Tias. Gib Viconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Irsa Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax, yes. Deborah Young.
Yes.
Thank you very much. 8 votes in favor, 1 abstention. The motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Weatherwax. Thank you, committee members. And to Mr. Escoffery, thank you for your continued service and stewardship appropriately in our community. And we will see you Thursday of this week. We'll be hosting the full board, and the full board will be presented this recommendation for ratification. We appreciate having a member of your team available to answer any public questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you also all for your consideration and for supporting us.
You bet. All right, next item, moving along.
So James, should I stay on or?
You're welcome to attend as a community member and be part of the conversation if you'd like. However, there's no obligation at this point.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Confirming 409 Lincoln Place. Has anybody arrived? No. All right. 268 Kingston, I believe was Mr. Alan Glenn.
Correct.
All right. Let me pull up your application. All right. Mr. Glenn, are you a principal or you're the manager?
I'm the general manager.
And are you authorized to negotiate any conversations here tonight on behalf of the principals?
Absolutely.
Great, thank you. So Mr. Glenn is here on behalf of the principals, Mr. Branover, Mr. Schneerson, and Ms. Perez of Basil LLC, Basil Pizza and Wine Bar at 268 Kingston, between Eastern Parkway.
Ms. Perez is no longer on the application. She was an older part of the application.
I see. Yeah. Thank you for that clarity.
Yeah.
So Ms. Perez was a former principal and is being listed on this applicant as a former principal, just for clarity.
Correct.
Okay. 268 Kingston Avenue between Eastern and Lincoln Place, I believe. Been in business for 12 years as a restaurant bar with a wine, beer, and cider license. 27 tables with 78 seats, 1 bar with 6 seats, total capacity of 85. Hours of operation presented are 9 a.m. to midnight, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Friday, and 8 p.m. to midnight on Saturday. Noise attenuation measures, none listed. Outdoor service area is a sidewalk cafe, 28 by 8 feet, with 5 tables and 19 seats, with a capacity of 25. Those hours of operation are till 11 p.m. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday until 2 p.m. on Friday. There are 4 speakers in the dining room and 4 speakers in a private dining room. I believe we had a conversation about amplified sound in the past. And did you submit photos of those? Were those your photos with the speakers removed?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. The applicants also submitted photos to our committee showing their outdoor speakers of being removed from their place that we mentioned in the past. But no live entertainment is being offered. 16 service employees, No security personnel, 6 residences in the building, no adjacent residents, however, a hotel on the left and a business on the right, and no operational changes presented. And confirming, I believe I also saw that you shared with us photos of your posting. So
Correct.
at this point, I will now ask if there's any questions or comments for any of our community members. Hearing or seeing no indication. Are there any questions or comments from our committee members? Hearing or seeing no other questions or comments, I ask for a motion from a committee member, please.
Motion to recommend support for the renewal of the liquor license.
Thank you, Mr. Vicconi.
I'll second it.
I got a motion by Mr. Vicconi, a second by Ms. Young. Are there any questions to this motion? Hearing or seeing no indications, I'll ask Mr. Lewax to call the vote, please.
Chairman Allison.
Yay.
Thank you. Janet Collins.
Yes.
Ms. Collins. James Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Tamika Gibbs. Oliver Hart. Robert Puka. Brian Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton.
Yes.
Thank you. Ethel Tyus. Gib Vicconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Yrsa Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax, yes. Deborah Young.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes 9 in favor.
Thank you, Mr. Weatherwax, and thank you to the committee. Mr. Allen, once again, as I mentioned earlier, we will have our full board meeting on Thursday. The WebEx details can be collected from the board office, and it would be great to have a member of your team present to answer any questions, as this recommendation will be presented for the full board's ratification.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on to the next renewal. There's anybody here from 271 Kingston? And Cal, is it Cal? Are you able to hear us now? You can hear us. Okay. Do you have any updates on the paperwork? We don't have any submitted paperwork or applications from your.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not actually that good at this Zoom thing. So that's disheartening to hear, because we sent everything in. I was CC'd on an email with the whole lot. Nothing's changed. My liquor attorney has been kind of operating remotely, and she made me make double and triple sure that everything was sent in. So you had everything a long time ago. I really don't know what to say. And right now with the Zoom, I don't even know how I can go zip in and out and try and retrieve it to show you. But I have whatever the email was that gave me this Zoom. I sent everything in weeks ago.
Okay. Well, let me see if the board office can try to locate any past email and see if they can send it over by email in the interim. And we will circle back.
Can you please put in the chat to the CB8 host what email address it came from, and I can search with just your name, the business name, since Ani did not return any emails.
Okay. The email would have come from my personal, which is cabin with a K.
Please don't say it. This is being live streamed to YouTube. No personally identifying information. But if you put it directly to the CB8 host in the chat, only I will get it, and I'll be able to search that way.
Okay, so the little 3-dot option here, and just talk to you specifically.
Yes.
So not share with everyone, just chat, not chat with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's for the sake of privacy. This is being streamed on YouTube. We want to preserve announcing your personal email.
Okay.
All right, we'll circle back with you, Cal. All right.
Well, hold on. Let me before you circle back to me. So, where does this leave me? If they don't have anything, where does this leave me?
If you sent it, if it was received by the office, if I can find it using the email handle that you used when you sent it, then the committee will get the file within 2 minutes. And they'll be able to circle back to you as soon as I get the email address and they verify the document has been received.
All right. And how do I message just you and only you?
In the drop-down menu for the chat, currently it should be listed as everyone. You want to click on the far right of that little arrow caret pointing down, and you want to just select CB8 or host, whichever it appears on your end. And then the message will only go to me. Also, another way to do that is if you click on the CB8 host box on your screen, the little 3 dots, you just select more and it'll say chat, and you can just send me a message that way.
Okay, more. And what is your name again? I'm sorry.
It'll be CB8 host and presenter.
Just host. Got it. Host. Okay. All right. Thank you.
And relieve some pressure. Don't this done tonight. Still.
Oh, Mr. Witherwax, you're breaking up. You might want to go off screen to save bandwidth. Okay, anyway, while we look for this, let's go ahead and I'll move along just to keep things moving. Let's bring up 434 Park Place.
I'm here.
Great. All right. Mr. Noble is here presenting on behalf of his partners. Are all 3 names listed existing partners? Is it Jacob, James, and McCarl?
No, yeah, Jacob James and Mike Land, yeah.
Oh, Michael, sorry, I just was seeing.
Yeah,
okay. And then yourself. Okay, so those are all current. Thank you. So Washington Commons 1 LLC, doing business as Washington Commons at 434 Park Place at the corner of Washington Avenue, has been in business for 11 years as a restaurant bar with a liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. Sorry, I'm having some interference. CB8 host, can you mute the number, Kyle's number? This establishment has 11.
Mr. Ellis, please unmute yourself.
Dang it. Sorry. Washington Commons LLC, doing business as Washington Commons at 434 Park Place, the corner of Washington Avenue. Been in business 11 years as a restaurant bar with a liquor, wine, beer, cider license. Indoor service area includes 11 tables and 40 seats, 1 bar with 18 seats. Your maximum patron capacity is 223. Mr. Noble, can you confirm?
That's including the backyard. That's with the backyard, not interior.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm assuming your interior is 74.
Yes, correct. Yes. Yeah, we have the well, obviously we're at half capacity now, but yes, correct.
Sure. All right. Hours of operation has been Sunday 1 p.m. to 4 a.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday 3 p.m. to 4 a.m., and Saturday 1 p.m. to 4 a.m. Noise attenuation measures inside includes noise baffles, soundproofing, and sheetrock. Outdoor service area is a patio or garden 30 feet by 45 with 10 tables and 60 seats. Capacity maxing out at 100. Hours of operation for the rear yard is 1 p.m. to 10:30 on Sunday, 3 p.m. to 10:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is 3 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. and Saturday is 1 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Noise attenuation measures in this space include soundboards and recording studio blankets. There's another outdoor service area. Is this part of your open restaurants setup?
Oh yes. There's no bar out there, but yes, correct. Out front there is.
Right,
as
and
part of the open.
that's the 20 by 8 feet with 3 tables and 12 seats.
Yes.
And that's just a temporary service area as part of the COVID opportunities right now until it's been made permanent. But yeah,
correct. Yeah.
Gotcha. So 4 speakers are a part of the sound system interior with the receiver behind the bar. No live entertainment. 8 service employees with manager, security personnel, and 16 cameras. These added security cameras and increased management on site are new update operations changes since our last application. And it looks like other operation changes include increased oversight and maintenance upgrades to the establishment. I do believe we also have documentation of your public notice and with some of the images you shared. That being said, happy to hear there were no noise issues. And with that, I will offer any questions or comments to committee members.
Yes, hello.
Question?
I am, did I hear the total capacity was 600, 500, 200 and what?
I believe it's listed as 223.
Okay, 223. So indoors 76?
74 is usually the Department of Buildings number.
Okay, 74, and then outside I heard 100?
Well, they have seating for 60, but there's also stand-up space. So I think they're noting that they can accommodate up to 100 people in normal operations, not under current COVID regulations.
Okay, so that's 174. So how do we get to 223?
Mr. Noble, do you want to address Ms. Collins?
Yeah, I think what I had kept on there was the 228. I don't know that that's the 74 is interior, the 100, and perhaps it's counting some of the front seating. I just kind of copied what we've had for the last couple of years, but you are correct that number may be a little off because we don't have more than 100 in the back. And then we've got 12 up front. So I guess that'd be 186. And then 12 on the side, so it'd be sub 200. So yeah, that needs to be adjusted.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, this is Mark.
Mr. Thurton, please proceed.
What did we have previously for this application in reference to the rear yard and the interior space?
I'm gonna ask, it looks like Mr. Witherwax may be having technical problems. He has to look into the old records. But I do recall this having a more sizable number than what we're accustomed to. But I think it's because of their large outdoor space. Yeah, I think Mr. Witherwax may be indisposed. Mr. Noble, can you confirm, those numbers have been pretty stable, or is this is this reflecting other than the outdoor COVID seating? Has that been pretty reflective throughout all your applications of around the same number?
Yes, that's where I used that number from the previous ones, and perhaps it just was something that I don't know. That's just what we've had for the last 3-4 years since I've been representing. I guess 3 years.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Yes. Hello?
Yes, hi there.
Hi, this is Mimi Mitchell, neighbor. I'm the neighbor next door to Washington Commons.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, welcome. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. The noise level is still pretty high, but they have been it's been working out. The weather hasn't been great, and then there's also been COVID. So I haven't been complaining when the curfew of 10:30 or 11:30 hasn't been met, because there hasn't been, and they haven't had a lot of weekends to really take advantage of the crowds. But I do want to make sure that we are still on the same page going forward. And I was happy to hear Mr. Noble talk about the 10:30 Monday through Thursday, and then the 11:30 closing of the back on the weekends. The only thing that I would ask to add, and this is what I remember requesting this from the prior owners, it wasn't done, and I'm going to ask Mr. Noble to do it, is can we have 2 big signs on the patio? I can help you make them if necessary. Just asking to just please remember that we are in a residential neighborhood. That's all. Just because I'd like the patrons to be able to see something that reminds them that, hey, there are people who live around here. And sometimes I can hear other patrons saying it to other people, like, hey, keep the noise down, whatever, the people are here or whatnot. I can hear them saying it to each other. And I think that having 2 signs in a really good area would really maybe just kind of help people remember that this is a residential neighborhood, and they are right smack dab in a residential pocket.
Okay. Thank you. Miss Mimi, do you have any kind of, before I have Mr. Noble respond, do you have a point of contact that you and your neighbors are allowed to communicate with the bar directly on issues? And is
Not
that
at
working?
this moment, because these are new owners. These are not the
Okay.
old ones. So I don't have a new contact for Mr. Noble, but I'm sure, I hope that he'd give it to me, but I'm willing to give out my contact, no problem.
Mr. Noble, moving forward, will you provide some sort of contact information, whether it's a phone number or an email that the neighbors can communicate with you on an ongoing basis that can be shared?
Certainly. I just added to the chat. We have the Washington Commons Brooklyn at gmail.com. It should be available via Google, on our Google business info. But if it's not, then I'll make sure that that's added to it. Also on our Facebook. I do respond to that. I'm the one that responds to Facebook and primarily Washington Commons, myself or my partner. And those are probably, you're also obviously welcome to call the bar and leave the message, leave a voicemail, which I do check as well every time I'm there, pretty much every day. But I think the email is the best way to go.
Okay, and Mr. Noble, would you be willing to oblige Ms. Mimi's recommendation of signage in the backyard?
Sorry, just had some barking dogs there. Yes, yeah, we can put some signs up. Sure.
Great. I would encourage you to do so and continue making relations with your neighbors. Continue to work smoothly. So thank you for that comment, and Ms. Mimi, and thank you, Mr. Noble, for being willing to do so.
I have a question.
Hi, Ms. Collins, please proceed.
Yes, so Mr. Noble, how often while the establishment is open do you check the telephone messages, the email, and Facebook? And I'm saying that because if the neighbor feels that the noise level is too high and they call, nobody is checking the communication, then nothing then is resolved. So how often is that being checked?
I guess I hadn't actually, was a voicemail left that I missed. I didn't, I don't think that I don't recall hearing any voicemails. Perhaps it got missed, but I check it. I'm there pretty much, like I said, every day. So I check the voicemail every day. I check the email many times a day. Yeah, I check it all the time.
Mr. Noble, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. This is the neighbor, Mimi. I guess and thank you so much, Janet. What I'm looking for is a direct number to contact somebody and have a number that will be picked up if there is an actual problem that's happening in the moment. Sure, we can discuss and dialogue over email, no problem, but I'm what I'm looking for is something to happen in the moment. Maybe it's actually 11:45 and the backyard is still open. What do I do?
Well, we wouldn't be open at 11:45. We're closing at 11 due to COVID. But you would have to call the bar. I can't. I'm trying to phrase this in a way that it doesn't sound like I'm not taking what you're saying into consideration. I'm just saying that I try to encourage my bartenders and my managers to answer the phone. That they're not always next to a phone at all times, but calling the bar phone is still the best way to get a hold of someone. Sometimes they're in the middle of helping someone, or they're not necessarily, it's not on their hip all the time. We're trying our best. That's, I leaving a voicemail or an email, or of course trying to call the number. Of course, if it's happening at that moment, is still the best way to get a hold of someone.
So will she be able to, will the neighbors be able to get that on the moment number?
I think what Mr. Noble is suggesting is that the bar number is the best number to reach directly in the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, if you need that, I can put that in there. I mean, it's on Google as well. I can also put that in the chat.
That hasn't really been successful in the past. I'm not saying with you though. With the previous owners, that hasn't been successful. So I'm a little wary and hesitant about that as being a solution. That's all.
Sure, but I don't think that's very fair to hold against me what someone did a couple of years ago.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying to you, sir. I said that.
I'm gonna interrupt now and try to move this along.
Thanks.
Mr. Noble, I want to just share with you the concern that our concern is also the neighbor's concern, that there is a way that issues can be ameliorated in the present moment. It's not fair to expect a neighbor that having disruptions after hours to have to wait till the next day to get any kind of remedy or any kind of whatnot. So strongly encouraging you to create this opportunity for dialogue and maybe a direct route by which they can connect you in real time. Ms. Mimi, you could also keep us at the community board office notified of any issues, and we will continue to work with you as a community member to address any issues that might come up. I am heartened to hear from the 77th precinct that this location has not received any noise complaints in the last while. I think we all understanding that we've had limited operations for many of these establishments, and they're all trying to recover and get back up in operations. So, Mr. Noble, I guess just in summary, I think there's an opportunity here for you to create a space that our neighbors, those neighbors of yours, can have a route to address their issues in a real time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ellis. That's exactly what we're looking for. And we don't want to call 311. We'd rather just deal with the bar directly, and let's just, because I think that we're all hopefully working towards the same goal.
Great, thank you. Any other comments on this application before we move along? I see no indications or messages in the chat, so I'll ask a committee member for a motion.
Motion to recommend support of the renewal of the application with the stipulation that the applicant provide us post a sign in the rear yard saying, "Please be considerate of our neighbors."
Can I get amendment to that? This is Mark. Can we verify the capacity?
I think that's a technical thing that that doesn't have to be a part of the. Sorry. Before you're passing, Mr. Witherwax, can you check for? Do you have access to the last application on their seating numbers that they presented?
Let me check.
Thank you. In the meantime, let's go ahead and continue moving while Mr. Witherwax looks that information up. Mr. Vicconi has made a motion.
If you give me 2 minutes, I can pull up if I have it, their 2019 application.
All right, thank you. Mr. Thurton's recommendation is actually just a matter of technicality, and it doesn't need to be a part of the motion. So is there someone that wants to second Mr. Vicconi's motion?
Before we second, was that name, that telephone number for the bar into the chat? Or
It hasn't
how
been
was that
yet.
for Miss Mimi?
I mean, I'm just gonna
Get
Google it
it
like
on their
anybody else thinks.
Google.
So
I'll just get it from Google, as he said. Oh, there we go.
thank
Got it
you.
now.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Noble.
Thank you.
I'm not finding comments on the capacity, so I'm going to leave that to, oh, wait, here it is. This may not be current. This is from 2013, where we asked the rear yard to be capped at 60. But I have a recollection that we amended this subsequently.
I wasn't aware or informed of any subsequent amendments, just as a neighbor who's been attending.
Yeah, I don't see anything, so I think we still, yeah, I don't see our 2015 renewal, but our 2017 renewal and our 2019 renewal are here, and there's no comments on expansion.
Okay, if you give me one moment, I have both 2017 and 2019, but it does not have a flash drive, which means I now have to plug it hardwire into the internet to be able to upload it for you guys. Just give me 2 minutes and I'll put it in the chat for you. But I do recall that the yard was reduced from 100 to 60 in response to the noise complaints. And I believe they ever came back for an alteration to increase the number of people in the rear yard.
That sounds about right from what I know. But of course, you guys would know more. I haven't been to every meeting.
Yeah, maybe I have it backwards. Maybe it's we did the reduction afterwards.
It was that is what I remember. It was 100, and due to the situation, it was reduced down to 60. As the hours for the opening also of the backyard were.
Okay. Well, while we wait for that final number, Mr. Vicconi has still made an introductory motion. Is there any member of the committee that wants to move forward with a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Can we wait for the vote until we get final information?
Sure. Yeah, because the application is saying 2 and change. I mean, we don't want to approve that if it's not correct.
I did search through sent mail for May 27th, 2019. It was sent to Brooklyn Community Board 8. And it says 223. I'm looking through the whole 5-page application. Everything else is pretty much the same. But I believe we had that over 200, but not 238. So perhaps there's a transposition error on my part. But that's what I'm looking at from, again, that was sent on May 27th of 2019. I think we've had that before, so I'm not sure. That's about the only information I have in my.
Thank you. I think I got it. Can I make a suggestion? Maybe this is more for the motion maker. Maybe it's a friendly amendment. Then can we go back and stipulate again that the backyard is capped at 60? I think it says seating 60, but you also have 100 listed there. And I'd like to revert back to what we originally agreed upon years past, if that's okay with Mr. Vicconi and Mr. Witherwax, who's second.
I have no objection.
Yeah.
All right. So the motion now to be restated is to support this application with the amendment of capping the rear yard at 60 as previously agreed to, and to install signage reminding consumers to be mindful of the neighbors.
Right.
All right. If there's no questions on this motion, I'll ask Mr. Weatherwax to call the vote.
All right. Kirmany Allison.
Yay.
Thank you. Janet Collins.
No.
Thank you. James Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Brian Saunders.
Sorry, I think Ms. Gibbs is here now.
Oh, Ms. Gibbs.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Abstain, I just got here. Sorry.
No worries. Thank you. Oliver Hart. Robert Puka. Brian Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton.
Yes.
Thank you. Ethel Tyus. Gib Vaconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Yrsa Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax. Yes. Deborah Young.
Oops. Yes. Sorry.
Thank you, Ms. Young. No problem. 8 in favor, 1 abstention, 1 opposed. The motion passes.
Great. Thank you.
Question?
1 second.
In the
circle back.
past, no, what?
I just want to remind Mr. Noble that we'll have the full board meeting on Thursday. You can receive login details from the board office. It'd be great to have a representative of your team present to answer any questions from the full board as they are presented this motion to ratify. Mr. Thurton.
Yes, in reference, in the past when we were together, our customers used to normally fill out the forms with the amendments. How is it being done now?
Good question, Mr. Thurton. I hadn't thought about.
It's not being done that way, but since these are all being recorded, live streamed and whatnot, it's going to be awfully hard for somebody to deny their agreement when we have video footage of them agreeing to it. So it kind of amounts to the same thing.
I think we need hard copy because the same situation may come up again 2 years down the road because the application says something. And do we want to really go back to a 2-hour videotape and see what went on?
Mr. Thurton, can I just interject for a moment? Is in the file that will be uploaded to the Dropbox in the next 90 seconds or whenever my computer decides to cooperate, the support letter from 2019 is going to be uploaded, and it does explicitly state that the rear yard be reduced to 60. This is from 2019.
Oh, but Mark's point is well taken, which is that we aren't doing that anymore for any applicants because we don't have the opportunity to do it. So, he's right. There is a gap here to be filled in general, not so much in the specific, but let's be mindful of that.
And also with this particular application, we amended that they would post to sign. So that needs to be included in a hard copy somewhere as well. 2 signs alerting the customers that it's a neighborhood.
All right. Well, at this point, since we don't have the ability to sign off on something, we will confer with the board office on trying to operationalize something moving forward to this matter. I also lean on the applicant to follow through on their agreement to this issue and potentially provide documentation in the coming weeks as that signage is installed. And that way we'll have that on file. In efforts to continue moving along, I'm going to close out this matter and we'll move to the next item. Thank you, Mr. Noble. Thank you, Mimi, if you're still with us, for joining us and sharing and being a participant in this conversation. I'm going to move on. Thanks. I'm going to circle back. We did receive information for Centani, so I'd like to go back and capture that one. So, Cal, are you with us? And you can hear us? Great. I'm going to go ahead and read your application for the benefit of the, oh, where'd it go? Oh, here we go. Got it. All right. So, Mr. Calkin Narvilas, and forgive me if I...
Calkeen Narvilas. You can call me Cal.
All right. Calkeen Narvilas. Cal is representing Senza Fame, LLC, doing business as Centani at 742 Franklin Avenue. Cal, can you just remind us the cross streets?
Sterling and Park Place.
Great. Between Sterling and Park Place is a restaurant bar with a liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. No indoor service area changes, but can you tell us your seating? How many tables, how many chairs?
Well, it's kind of been a moving target with COVID.
Let's talk about what you, don't worry about the COVID stuff. We want to just document what you would present in your fullest operational capacity that you would either historically have operated or that you would like to be operating at if all restrictions are lit.
Sure. We got about 48 inside, including the bar, and maybe another 20 plus in the rear yard.
All right. Thank you. So the service hours are 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. to midnight Friday and Saturday. It looks like they've also listed their COVID hours, which is till 11 o'clock with starting service at 4 p.m. Outdoor service area is a back garden with 20 feet by 18, 6 tables, 4 seats. And it looks like that would be about 24. Background music with 4 speakers at 10 watts. Cal, are there any speakers in the rear yard?
Negative.
Thank you. No live entertainment is offered. 8 service employees. Security cameras are installed. 2 residences above, 2 left and right. No other operational changes other than COVID operation standards. Are there any questions or, can you maybe, I believe the officer from the 77th mentioned some 311 calls. Do you have any recall on those issues and what was done to mitigate that concern?
To my understanding, we never had a single in 8 years on the block.
All right.
I did have a neighbor once actually that she may have, but that was years ago. She's since moved.
Okay. It could have.
I'm unaware of any 311 call.
All right. Any other questions or comments from any community members? And if not, any questions or comments from any committee members? Hearing or seeing no indications, I'll ask for a motion from a member, please.
Recommend the board support the renewal of the liquor license.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Vicconi. Is there a second?
Saunders.
Second by Mr. Saunders. Are any questions to the motion? Mr. Witherwax, will you please call the vote?
Sure. Chairman Allison.
Yes.
Janet Collins.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Allison. James Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Tamika Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you. Oliver Hart. Robert Puka. Brian Saunders. Mark Thurton.
Yes.
Thank you. Gib Vicconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Ursa Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax, yes. Deborah Young.
Yes.
And let me return Mr. Saunders. Are you voting yes? Thank you. That's 10 in favor, 0 opposed, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Witherwax. Thank you, Cal. And again, I remind you, Thursday this week will be the full board meeting as this committee's recommendation is passed to them for ratification.
Thank you very much. Been a rough year. I hope it gets better from here on out.
Thank you. All right. So last renewal item that we're aware of is present is 636 Carlton. Let me get to the documents. All right. So remind me who's present from 636 Carlton? Was there someone here from 636 Carlton?
There was.
There was, right.
But they also, their expiration isn't until June. So if we don't do them tonight, they're not prejudicial.
All right. And what about 287 Flatbush? Do we have an expiration for them?
Yes, I just had it. Hold on. I left my notes when I moved. Sorry. I will note that 409 Lincoln is already been renewed. Sumi Sushi is a May renewal, so they have another month too if they don't show up tonight.
Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and move on to our new applications in the meantime. Uh-oh. All right, let's see what I have here. Liquor license form new. I'd like to invite Miss Catherine Pangaro for number 7 restaurants.
Hi.
Pangaro, right. And so we recently heard this applicant present an application for this establishment as it's looking to be relocated from an existing place over on Fulton Street, I believe. Green Street, sorry, thank you. Green, and they are searching a new location. This time they're presenting for the same business, however, looking at an alternate address. So this might sound familiar to many of us on the committee as it was presented, but they are looking at it to present in a different location. So that being said, I have applicants here, Tyler Cord and Ian Sugarman, and Ms. Pangaro is also here representing them. I presume your name is not listed here, but you're able to do any negotiations on behalf of the principals listed.
Yes, and if anyone has a question for Tyler specifically, he's just in the other room with our unruly toddler.
Great. So Ms. Pangaro is presenting corporate application for number 7 Restaurant LLC, doing business as number 7 Restaurant. This proposed location is 591 Vanderbilt. Ms. Pangaro, can you tell us the cross street?
It's between Dean and Bergen.
Thank you. Seeking, and this is for a restaurant bar, for a liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. 6 tables with 2 to 6 people per table with a 25 max seating, 1 bar with 10 seats, maximum indoor capacity of 40. Proposed hours of operation, 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Sunday, closed on Mondays, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Friday, with a 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Saturday. So in short, open for dinner service only on Tuesday through Friday and lunch and dinner service on Saturday and Sunday. Outdoor service area is included with a patio or deck. It's 25-30 feet. It would host 5 tables with 2 to 6 people per table and a maximum capacity of 25. Those hours of operation being proposed are till 10 p.m. on Sunday, 11 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and midnight Friday, Saturday. Sound system includes 3 small speakers indoors, 3 employees per shift. Per shift, 3 rear kitchen employees, 4 front of the house.
Max.
Max, right? This applicant is also interested in participating in the CB8 employment local hiring program with our partners at Bed-Stuy Restoration.
Definitely.
No security personnel to be staffed at this time, but security cameras and roll down gates to be installed for managing. Okay. After presenting that, I'm seeing, we have documents showing letters of support, the neighborhood notification. We also have some documents for floor plans. And then at this point, I'll open up to any questions or comments from any community members. I don't know that we have many today, other than Miss Mimi, who already left, but I will then ask any committee members for any questions or comments.
Is there any outdoor speakers? I didn't hear any. I heard you mention speakers. I didn't know that were indoor or outdoor.
No outdoor speakers. And actually, I realized when I pulled up the application just now, I somehow I must have sent you the the version without the noise attenuation measures, which inside it's just the same as last time. We'll have the speaker isolators that prevent any vibration from traveling. Our landlord's mother lives directly above the restaurant, so we're going to be very keen to keep it quiet for her. She's in her 90s. And in the backyard, it's a different sort of space than last time. The last one had baffles on the wall, but we don't abut another building in the back. So, but it does have a full chain link fence all the way around. So our plan is to do, trellises with greenery that kind of helps to enclose it, as well as an awning above for shade as well as for noise dampening.
And while you're discussing the backyard, can you talk about what materials for tables and chairs and what's the path, the ground?
So the plan is to use the same thing again. We have their wooden tables with sort of a cloth cover. And it's a larger space than last time, so we might look into getting some kind of low wicker kind of things for people just to sort of sit on as sort of a back sort of waiting area, but things that wouldn't travel, because the part of it that is paved is concrete, and so if we had something metal on that, I feel like that would be noisy. So soft materials that will be absorbent rather than clangy.
Great, thank you.
But if there's specific recommendations, we haven't purchased anything for that other than the tables, the wooden tables and chairs. So if there are specific preferences, we're super open.
No, I think I'll just say I'm encouraged to hear that you're considering the softer materials, as that's one of our concerns is metal on pavement. That does tend to make noise.
They're also much more comfortable. Those metal chairs are not comfortable.
Any other questions or comments from committee members?
Yes, I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Did I hear that the present application submitted has speakers in the backyard?
No, ma'am.
No speakers.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No speakers in the backyard. There's 3 speakers listed on the interior.
Okay, thank you.
Little ones. It's a smaller space than the last one as well.
All right. Hearing or seeing no indications of questions or comments, I'll ask for a motion, please.
I make a motion for the board to submit a recommendation to support this new application.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbs. Thank you, Mr. Vicconi. Are there any questions to Ms. Gibson, Ms. Gibbs's motion? All right, Mr. Witherwax, you're up.
All right, Mr. Kiermany Allison.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Allison. Janet Collins.
Yes.
Thank you. James Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Tamika Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you. Oliver Hart. Robert Puka. Brian Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton. Thank you. Ethel Tyus. Gib Vicconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Irsa Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax, yes. Deb Young.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes 10 in favor.
Thank you, Mr. Witherwax. Thank you, Ms. Pangaro. We'll see you Thursday as we present this recommendation to the full board. Details for the WebEx can be obtained from the committee board office. All right, moving along. Let's look at 1524 Bergen. Miss Melissa.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening.
Hi. This is 636 Carlton Avenue. Unfortunately, I was muted. I didn't realize how to unmute, but I'm here for the renewal for 636 Carlton Avenue. Alex.
Okay. Let's go ahead and finish Miss. Is it Baudet?
Boudry. You can call me Mel. Melissa.
Okay. Miss Boudry Mel. Thank you. So we'll circle back to you at 636 Carlton as soon as we complete this one. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let me find Miss Mel's information. Sorry, my tablet's not working so well. Let me find it. Which one is it? Oh, there you go. Right?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. So in reviewing the package submitted to us, Ms. Boudouet is presenting an application for curated by Mel LLC, doing business as We Cafe and Wine Bar at 1524 Bergen Street. What's the cross streets there?
Between Utica and Schenectady.
Wonderful, thank you. As a restaurant and bar seeking a beer, wine, and cider license. There are 10 tables with 40 seats, one bar with 4 seats, maximum capacity 75. I would recommend we change that to 74 because then it's a DOB thing. Hours of operation proposed are 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Noise attenuation is keeping volume at a comfortable level to speak over. There is a garden with 20 feet by 12 feet with 3 tables and 12 seats. Hours of proposed operation is 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Noise attenuation measures in the rear is a wooden fence and bushes to be placed to absorb sound, and no outdoor speakers. Additionally, is this sidewalk cafe you're looking to permit, or is this part of your COVID operations?
I got the COVID permit already from the city for the sidewalk cafe, but this would be also going forward.
Okay. We might want to discuss that because I don't know if they're issuing sidewalk cafes right now.
They granted me the permit already.
What they did for the sidewalk cafe?
Correct.
Okay. So the sidewalk cafe being presented is 14 feet by 9 feet, 3 tables and 6 seats. Outdoor hours of operation until 10 p.m., 7 days a week, and no outdoor speakers. There are 6 speakers on the interior. Live entertainment is being proposed. Number of service employees 3 to 4. This applicant is interested in participating in our local hiring program. 0 security personnel, but alarm system and security cameras installed. 2 residences in the building, 4 residences left, right, and rear. Looking through their package, we see notifications, their community notifications of this meeting. We see photos of their interior. There also has been submitted, it looks to be about 3 letters of support from building tenants and or neighbors. And looks like we have a floor plan for the interior. And then we also have a floor plan for the exterior rear yard. And with that, I will ask if there's any questions or comments from any of our community members, if any are present. And if not, then I'll open it up to the committee members.
I have a question.
Yes, Ms.
You said
Collins.
live entertainment. Where is the live entertainment? Indoors or outdoors?
It would be indoors.
Can you describe to us what your live entertainment programming would look like and what you're trying to accomplish and encourage there?
It wouldn't be on a regular basis, but if and when we chose to do events, it might be something like a saxophone or just a very small 2 to 3 person band, like just something intimate, but not on the regular basis.
Okay. Do you have operational windows or doors that open up?
I just have one main entrance and floor to ceiling windows for the front.
And do you open those up and let?
They're not open, they're just transparent.
Okay. They're not operable, you're saying?
Correct.
Got you. And this music entertainment this is again being limited to your hours of 10 p.m. closing, right? So there wouldn't be any worries of late nights.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments from any of our committee members? Hearing or seeing no indications, I'll ask for a motion from a committee member.
I make a motion that we support the application.
Second.
I've got a motion to support by Ms. Young, second by Mr. Vicconi. Do any of our members have any questions on this motion? Mr. Witherwax, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ellis. Kiermany Allison. Janet Collins.
Yes.
Thank you. James Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Tamika Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you. Brian Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ethel Tyus. Gib Vicconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Yrsa Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax, yes. Deborah Young
Yes.
and Mr. Allison. All right, 9 in favor. The motion passes.
Thank you. Ms. Mel, we welcome you to open to this support in our community, and thank you for being a good steward of this potential license. And we invite you Thursday to join the full board as we move this item along for their support.
Thank you, and I look forward to hearing more about the community hiring program.
Great. We'll certainly pass along your contact information to our partners there, and they would most likely be reaching out to you to schedule next steps.
Actually, that works a little bit differently now.
Gibb is our spearheader of this program, so I'll let him speak to that. This is the benefit for all members here. We would encourage all applicants.
So the Bed-Stuy Restoration Workforce Development Program now has a web-based form that they're looking for prospective employers to fill out, and then they will follow up with you from there. And I am going to post that information. No, I'm not going to post that information in the chat to everyone because it seems like I'm not allowed to do that the way this version of WebEx is set up. So I've already sent it to Ms. Pangaro, and I'm about to send it to Ms. Spadai as well.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right, next item. When I'm moving on to, we did number 7, we did number 2. Melissa, okay, how about 728 Franklin Avenue? Oh, sorry, my apologies. I want to circle back to Sweet Chick as a renewal. Sorry, Jilly.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. All right, so remind us your name, the manager from Sweet Chick.
Hi, my name is Alex Linamontes. I'm the general manager of Sweet Chick.
Great, and I'm assuming by your presence here that you are authorized to handle any negotiations on behalf of the applicant?
Yes, I am.
Great, thank you. All right, the representative is here representing John Seymour, the corporation named Sweet Chick Flatbush LLC, doing business as Sweet Chick at 636 Carlton Avenue. Been in operation at this location for 4 years as a restaurant bar with a full liquor, wine, beer, cider license. The indoor service area is 10 tables with 34 seats. They listed their COVID operations, their service employee. Oh, it's a little out of order. Wait, one. Page 2. All right, hours of operation are 10 a.m. to midnight on Sunday, 11 to midnight Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Friday, and 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday. There is an outdoor service area of a sidewalk cafe, 28 by 12 feet with 6 tables and 24 seats. Those hours of operation are presented as, and Mr. Witherwax, I might need you to validate this from past applications, but their proposed hours of operation for this outdoor space are the same as the business hours. So that again would be midnight, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 2 a.m. Friday, Saturday. I'll ask Mr. Witherwax to confirm that because that seems a little out of line for our normal permitting. The dining room has 6 speakers. No live entertainment is being offered. And I feel like I went out of order again. So let me. 30 employees, 1 security guard. Security measures include alcohol training courses for all staff. 7 residences in the building, 4 left, right, and rear. 4 left, 4 right, 4 rear. And operational changes include COVID-19 protocols and regulations from New York City and New York State. And that looks to the bulk of that application. Any questions or comments? Go ahead.
No, I have those. So in September of 2017, they came before us seeking 34 seats at 15 tables, fronting Flatbush Park only. We approved at the stipulation that they close 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and midnight Friday and Saturday.
All right. Was it Alan? I'm sorry if I forgot your name already.
Alex. Yeah,
Alex.
That's not a problem. Yeah, we will adhere to the hours for the outdoor dining that the gentleman proposed. That we
So to be clear, this
2017.
wasn't. Yeah, to be clear, this isn't a proposal. This is what was already approved.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry.
Just
To what
yeah.
was approved. Yeah, that works for us.
All right, and Mr. Witherwax, will you just state those hours again for clarity as we move forward?
Sure. The outdoor space should close at 11 p.m. on Sunday through Thursday and should close at midnight on Friday and Saturday.
Thank you.
Noted. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments from any members or community members? If not, I'll ask for a motion, please.
I'm sorry. I actually have a question.
Yeah.
This is Irsa.
Hi there.
Hi. Did I hear previously Officer Vidal mention there were 3 noise complaints, 2 in March?
So this wouldn't
that
be
correct?
on this wouldn't be on this location because the 77th stops at Vanderbilt. So this would fall in the 78th. And I don't know that
Okay.
Officer Vidal was reporting on that.
He mentioned it.
Oh, you did?
Mention it, yeah.
Actually, you're absolutely right, Mr. Ellis. This does fall under the confines of the 7A precinct, but I did look up the location anyway. So there were 3 3-in-1 noise complaints, 2 in March and 1 back in October.
Okay. Alex, can you maybe speak to that? Do you want to talk about what the situation was or what remedies were made?
Absolutely. I was unaware about the noise complaints, but we do have garage doors, and I am aware that it could get loud, echoey with the garage doors. So we added more soundproofing since the garage doors don't actually have insulation. So we added more soundproofing, and I actually put the amplifier in a locked up space with a limited volume to it because we want to make sure that the neighbors don't have any complaints with the noise and the factoring in the garage doors.
When did you add the soundproofing?
We added it over the winter time. We added it around December. We put soundproofing underneath the table so it doesn't echo with the concrete floors. And we also added it on the corners of each, right by the garage doors, by the frontage facing Carlton on the corner of Flatbush.
What are the dates of the complaint?
Yeah, so Alex, it seems like the complaint came in March. So do we know any details? You don't know any details as what that complaint was?
From March, no, I'm not too sure about the March complaint, but we did remedy it to the best of our capability, and I also spoke to the staff to make sure that everything is quiet as possible.
So I'm sorry. So Alex, so you're not really clear as to what the complaint source was in terms of
No, not the one in March.
Reason. Okay.
No, not the one in March. Not the one in March. I'm not. Yeah.
So you're just assuming the noise is just from the garage and not patrons gathered and having a good time.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's from just the garage doors. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions or comments on this application? Hearing or seeing no indications of such, I'll ask for a motion from a member, please.
I make a motion that we accept the application.
I second that motion.
I'll second it with just a friendly amendment update to ask the applicant to recomplete this application with the corrected outdoor service hours.
Okay.
Accept it.
Ms. Young, is that okay? Thank you, Ms. Young.
Accepted. Mhm.
All right, Alex, so will you, if this motion is to move forward, the request is for you to recomplete the application, updating the hours of service as was previously approved.
Will do.
Any other questions on this motion from any members? Mr. Witherwax.
Mr. Allison. Ms. Collins.
No.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Thurton. Thank you. Mr. Vacconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Witherwax, yes. Ms. Young.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The motion passes 8 in favor, 1 opposed.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex. And as mentioned
Thank
to
you so
others,
much.
as mentioned to others, the full board will receive this recommendation on Thursday's full board meeting. It would be great to have a member of your team present to answer any questions if they were to arise. Information
Absolutely.
for the
Thank you so
login.
much, everyone.
Yep, information for the login can
Okay.
be obtained from the board office.
Okay, thank you so much. And where do I email the new application with the new outside dining hours?
Yep, Brooklyn Community Board. Wait, actually, I'll have the CB8 office put it in the chat. One second.
All right.
Okay, moving on. So now 728 Franklin.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Jillian Schiavi.
Trying to pull it up. All right, Little Zelda. All right, I have this. Okay, so are you a new principal in this establishment?
Yes.
Okay. And are you the sole principal, or is Mr. Desai still involved?
No, it's just me.
All right. So this applicant is presenting an application for a restaurant bar for a wine, beer, and cider license. Ms. Schiavi is presenting this on behalf of Little Zelda LLC, doing business as Little Zelda at 728 Franklin Avenue. Cross streets are?
In between Sterling and Park Place.
Thank you. Between Sterling and Park. There are 5 tables with 10 seats, 1 bar with 2 seats, capacity of 12. Hours of operation being presented, noon to 2 a.m., 7 days a week. Noise attenuation is a single speaker, low volume recorded music. No outdoor service areas. 1 indoor speaker. 2 service employees. The applicant has expressed interest in the local hiring program. No security personnel. 8 residences in the building, 16 left, right, and rear. And looking at in their package, looking at documentation of notification of this meeting was presented. I believe I have a floor plan. Yep, I see the floor plan and their C of O and other photos of the interior space. Curious, Ms. Schiavi, can you speak to us about how you're going to manage the outdoor space that you guys have there? Are you guys going to apply for a sidewalk cafe permit? Have you been permitted by the COVID open streets opportunities that have posed themselves?
We have been permitted by the open streets. We're not really planning on using the outside at all, so it'll all just be inside.
Are you going to still maintain a coffee shop?
Yes.
And that's not going to open until noon every day?
No, the coffee shop will be open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. or so, but the liquor license, the wine and beer, wouldn't start until noon.
And how do you, can you just walk us through how do you plan to notify your consumers of that? Are you going to have a posting saying no alcohol till noon, 7 days a week?
We certainly can, but it will mostly be, the barista on
I guess I'm
duty.
just curious why you didn't just list the operating hours for the whole establishment as part of this application.
Oh, well, that's a good question. Mainly because I assumed that people would want alcohol before noon. So it's, we'll just make sure that there's signage that people see, and that nobody's able to order liquor.
I'll be frank. I think we're less worried about the noon than we are about the 2 a.m. I think the 2 a.m. is kind of our critical. That's kind of a threshold, that, especially for a new application on a very highly trafficked corridor with a number of establishments already in existence. So I'll defer to the committee as we discuss, but I think that's more the concern, is not the noon, but the 2. But we'll cross that here in a second. Are there any other questions or comments from any members of our community or any members of the committee?
Would this establishment have a problem with adjusting to the board's usual, especially for new permittees? Well, I think it's like 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock closing. Not, I know it's not 2 o'clock. Would she have a problem with that time frame?
Yes.
So you do have an issue with that?
Yes, I am applying for a 2 a.m. liquor license.
Yeah, I think being usually we're hesitant as a committee to make recommendations of support for new establishments serving till 2 a.m. typically, especially in a very dense corridor such as Franklin Avenue. So if this committee were to make a recommendation of support, it tends to be in line with an earlier closing time for the first initial application.
Can I just point out, though, this is, I want to just confirm, this is a beer and wine application, right? This is not a full liquor application.
Yes, I'm really envisioning this as like a sophisticated, small, intimate wine, like fancy bottles of beer, no cocktails. We'll play like a little Ella Fitzgerald inside on the stereo that's in there. Definitely not loud or rambunctious at all.
Yeah, I don't want to be contrary, but I don't know us to have these kinds of hours restrictions for beer and wine licenses. I do know that we do this for full liquor licenses when we have 500-foot exceptions, but that wouldn't apply in this case because it's a beer and wine license.
Thank you for that clarity, Gib. I get things a little confused.
It did say full on the agenda, so I was thinking it was a full license too, and I was going to ask if it was a 500-foot exception. I didn't hear that come up, so thank you, Gib, for pointing that out.
Right.
And I mean, again, we're all on the same page, right? Ms. Schiavi, beer and wine license, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Oh, okay, all right, very good, thanks.
Any other questions or comments?
Can we correct the paperwork so we can all have everything in the same place?
Yes, I have.
The application is correct. The application says beer and wine. I think there may have been a mistake in the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Collins?
Also, the application does show hours of service. Does that, on those applications, does that refer to the service of alcohol, the service of when the establishment is open?
That would be, yeah, I think the intention is what the hours of service, the hours that the operation is open.
Yes.
And so then it has to be, if they're opening at 7 a.m., then that needs to be modified to 7 a.m.
But Mr. Witherwax, do you have a differing opinion? Sorry.
Well, she's saying her hours of service of alcohol are noon to 2. It doesn't matter what time she opens her doors to start serving non-alcohol.
That's my question. Does that line on the application refer to the service of alcohol only?
She can stay open 24 hours a day. She just can only serve alcohol between noon and 2.
And that's what that line in the application stands for.
That's all we regulate, is that when she serves alcohol. We can't tell her when to open her door or not to open her door to serve or sell other stuff.
Okay, but I need a direct answer to my question.
I'm giving you a direct answer. This is her hours to service of alcohol.
Okay. On the application, when the application was designed by the state, does that line refer to just when alcohol is being served in the establishment? or when the establishment's doors are open?
Well, I can't speak for the state's application, but the community board's application, we want to know when she's serving alcohol.
All right, so I think to that point is I think the hours listed that Ms. Yavi is looking to present to serve alcohol is noon to 2 a.m. for beer and wine 7 days a week.
Yes.
Her other operations notwithstanding will not impact her service other than she will not be able to serve other than between noon and 2 a.m.
Yes.
As proposed.
Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Hello?
Yes, Ms. Weatherspoon?
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
Do you see it?
I read it. Yes, Tamika Gibbs read it. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
The license is for beer and wine. To
Okay,
clarify.
so just no full. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Just
Ms.
want to make sure it wasn't missed.
Right, yep.
Got it.
Was there another question, Ms. Gibbs?
No other question.
All right. If there are no other questions or comments on this application, please invite a committee member to make a motion.
Move that we recommend support of the application for a beer and wine license.
A motion made by Mr. Riccone. Is there a second to the motion?
I will second that motion.
Second made by Mr. Allison. Any questions on this motion? Hearing or seeing none, I'll ask Mr. Witherwax to please call the vote.
Certainly. Mr. Allison?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Allison. Ms. Collins?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Gibbs?
Abstain.
Thank you. Mr. Saunders?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Thurton?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Viccone?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Weatherspoon?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Witherwax, yes. Ms. Young?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes 8 in favor, 1 opposed, 1 abstention.
Excuse me, Rob.
Yep.
Can you just tell me who made the motion? I just
Yeah.
missed that.
That's fine. Mr. Viccone made the motion. Mr. Allison seconded.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
All right, Ms. Shabby, as I mentioned to others, we do have a full board meeting on Thursday. This recommendation will be presented for the full board to ratify. It'd be great to have a member of your team present to answer any questions from the public or community board members, and all the information for logging can be obtained from the board office.
You got it. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, circling back, are there any people present here that's an applicant that we might have overlooked? All right, we do have a couple other items on the agenda that we might want to look at how to handle and dispose of. Mr. Witherwax, can you let us know? I received an application in the Dropbox from Piquant, but it wasn't on the agenda. So I'm curious if they are on a clock.
Can you remind me of their address?
Yeah, 1 second.
287 Flatbush.
You
That's
think I would
Silly
know?
Sushi.
You know, yeah, so it's probably 250, 261 maybe?
Hold on. I'm doing a search on their name. Sometimes that doesn't come up so. Okay. The count is renewed in 2019. We didn't voted to deny renewal for failure to appear. Hold on. Let me see if I can find their cycle. There it is. 259 Flatbush. Yeah, they're an April expiration. So we need to deal with them tonight.
So they did present an application. It wasn't very comprehensive. There was many details missing. But let's just, I'll read, do we want to, Mr. Witherwax, I'll ask your opinion. Do we want to go ahead and try to present this and move it through? All I have is an application. That's what I don't have any other documentation.
Does the precinct have any comments on them? I don't even know if they were on the precinct's radar for tonight.
Could you please repeat the address?
259 Flatbush Avenue.
What's that address again?
259 Flatbush.
And
What's the name of the location?
Piquant. Piquant.
Give me a few minutes. I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and look at the other items on the agenda while we wait for Mr. Vidal's response, Officer Vidal's response. So, Mr. Witherwax, were there any of the renewals that require actionable items tonight, or can they be held over till May?
Well, Lincoln Station has already been renewed for another 2 years. And sorry, I had made a note. There was another one. I think actually Basil had been renewed.
And well, Booth and Bun was also held over from last month.
Yeah, we need to deal with them. They're an April expiration.
Well, in that case, I'd like to make a motion to deny support for both 409 Lincoln and 271 Kingston for failure to appear and submit any documentation.
Second.
We don't need to call we can call a roll on that. So that's, hold on, Booth and Bun and Lincoln Station, even though Lincoln Station has already been renewed by the SLA.
Yeah, I would just like to
Sure,
memorialize.
on the record. So that was James and Irsa?
Yes.
Yes, and I think Booth and Bond also had some complaints. I think Officer Vidal had mentioned that. Just want to say that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I call the roll?
Yeah, just a reminder, the motion right now that was made was to withhold support for the renewal of these applications due to the failure to submit paperwork or appear at the committee.
Great. Kiermany Allison?
Yes to support.
Thank you. Janet Collins to support the motion to deny.
Gotcha. Yes, sorry. Thank you.
Yes.
Janet Collins, yes. Thank you. James Ellis?
Yes.
Thank you. Tamika Gibbs?
Yes.
Thank you. Brian Saunders?
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton?
Yes.
Thank you. Gib Tony?
Yes.
Thank you. The Witherspoon?
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax, yes. Deb Young?
Yes.
The motion passes 10 in favor, no opposition, no abstentions.
All right. That looks like, and then we said 287 Flatbush is a May.
Yeah, they're May, and Sweet Chick we did tonight, so that takes care of all our renewals.
Awesome. All right. At this point, I'd like to thank all of our members that held with us through tonight's processes. I will give it. Oh yeah, we're waiting on Mr. Vidal's
259, yeah.
I'm ready for you now. At 259 Flatbush Avenue, I'm looking here. The last noise complaints that they received were back in May of 2019, and there were 4 on that month. That's what I'm seeing here.
All right.
And that's it, just May of 2019. On that month, they had 4 complaints.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Witherwax, that being noted, we need to dispose of this, we said?
Sure.
Because it is an April, it's an April renewal.
It's an April renewal. If we want to say anything, we need to say it now or we lose our opportunity. Doesn't matter what we say.
Let me read the application as presented. I have a application for Mitchell Restaurant Deli Incorporated, doing business as Piquant. Been in operation 10 plus years, it says, as a restaurant bar with a liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. It includes 40 tables with 100 seats, 2 bars with 15 seats. Hours of operation are 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Early closures and no live music are part of the noise attenuation measure. Outdoor space includes a patio with 10 tables and 40 seats. The outdoor space operating is till 10 p.m., 6 days a week with a Monday closure. No music outdoors. And early closure of the backyard continues to be effective of noise attenuation, no live music. And 9 service employees, no security program or personnel. And there's blanks around residences and no operational changes indicated. That is the extent of the information I have in their application. Does anybody have any questions?
They've had a license since 2006, so 10 plus is accurate.
Yeah, it's just not very definitive. It's like you would think they would put their operations. They didn't even put their address on the application.
Well, at least they submitted one, which is better than many people do.
Well, it was better than they did last time around.
I know we're inconsistent on this point, but I think we've been extending a little latitude during COVID. So, I would be inclined to vote in favor of renewal, but I don't feel strongly about that.
Any other comments from members?
They have no postage to the neighbors.
I'm sorry?
Did they have any postage that they were coming to this event?
Mr. Thurton, I don't see any documentation to that effect.
Okay.
So basically, all I did was fill out the first page, and that was it.
Just a sparsely completed renewal application. Anybody feel inclined or compelled to make a recommendation at this point?
I recommend that we table this till another time based on the fact that the application is incomplete and they're not present.
Sure. I mean, the unfortunate part with tabling, Ms. Collins, is that they're up for renewal this month. And
I would think that would have mattered to them.
I would have thought so too, but their track record from previous renewals also indicates that they don't send an application or appear. And despite our lack of support last time, they still continue to receive their renewals. Other comments? Mr. Witherwax, I'll defer to you then, since you're the only one that had an opinion.
Oh, sure. I'm the only one who spoke his opinion.
Sorry, that's probably more accurate. Yeah.
Well, I say that we just continue to say that we don't support it to show that this is unacceptable.
And I second that motion, Mr. Saunders.
Is that a motion being made, or is that a suggestion, Mr. Saunders?
Let's make it a motion.
All right.
Two, can we also send a letter to the authority to let them know that they just breezed past us? Is that something that we can do as well?
Well, I think the intention on any time that we deny for failure to appear, then the letter is sent to SLA reflecting that information.
So it's automatic, is that what you're saying? Okay.
That's my understanding of how the board manages that. Yes.
Awesome.
How the office manages that. Sorry. So I just want to clarify, the motion right now is to withhold support due to incomplete application and failure to appear. Is that correct, Mr. Saunders?
Correct.
And Ms. Gibbs has seconded that. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Are there any questions about this motion being proposed? This time I'll ask Mr. Witherwax to bring us home with the final vote.
Kiermany Allison.
Yes, support.
Thank you. Janet Collins.
Yes.
Thank you. James Ellis.
Abstain.
Thank you. Tamika
Wait,
Gibbs.
isn't the motion not to support? Right, so yes
Yes.
means not supporting, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Tamika Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you. Brian Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton.
Yes.
Thank you. Gib Vaconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Irtha Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax. Yes. Deborah Young.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes 9 in favor, 1 abstention.
All right. I think that might complete all of our actionable items tonight. I'd like to open this opportunity for any comments or new business if anybody has any. Any announcements, Officer Vidal? All right.
No, not up yet. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, Officer. All right. With that being said, I'll make this motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a great night, everyone. Thank you all.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. See you
Night.
Thursday.
Good night.
Good night.